Hey guys, so I'm here with another process video and I pre-cut my pictures already and I'm starting with a white 12 by 12 um, piece of cardstock, and this is another one of those hot buys from Michaels, and this is the Amy Tan one. So I'm just pulling out some papers that I'm thinking about using with this layout. And yeah, so those pictures are 3 by 3, and I just printed them out at home on my Epson printer. And then that stencil is a 12 by 12 DCWV stencil, and it's of a bunch of doilies. So I really like that stencil. And those stencils are actually pretty good quality, so for a really nice price. So what I want to do first is I'm going to gesso this paper a bit, and I'm just using white gesso. I thought about using my clear gesso and then I switched to the white. So I'm just moving that around on the paper, trying to cover it. It's not going to be perfect, around the edges and stuff. There's definitely going to be some that's not gessoed, which you'll see in a bit. But for now, it's good enough, and I dried it. And now I'm taking some of that Faber-Castell gel medium, and I want to create a bit of a resist. So I'm taking my stencil and like a palette knife, and I am just putting that through the stencil onto the gessoed page. So, so for those of you that may be new to my channel, I often like to do things like this where I kind of create my own background. I do use pattern papers. This has just been like a fad of mine lately, is kind of creating my own backgrounds, that I really enjoy doing it because I like playing with all my mediums. So I have that done. I did a larger doily up in the top left corner, and then I did a smaller one in the bottom right. And I think I'm just washing my stencil and stuff off. You want to make sure you wash everything off when you're using mediums like that, so that they come off your stencil cleanly. Um, and I'm just going to put that away, and I'm going to dry this up. So now I'm back and it's all dry, and I actually flipped my paper. So that the larger doily is in the bottom left and the smaller doily is in the top right. And I often use this format quite a bit, where I do something in a corner and then something in the opposite corner. And I'm going to hopefully be trying to start some new things, because I feel like I'm kind of in a rut with that thing. Even though I love that style, it appeals to me, it appeals to my eye and to my style. I'm just getting a bit bored with it. So hopefully upcoming soon, I'll be trying some different layouts. So I just pulled out some gelatos there and some of my watercolors, and um, I'm gonna use my craft sheet there, and I'm just gonna start with this pink because I want to do like a color blocking and stripes. But that pink is really faint, and it's even, I mean, it was a little bit more noticeable in person, but it was very faint. So I'm just gonna wipe it off, and because I gessoed, it comes off pretty easily. And so then I take that bubblegumish gelato. I don't know if that's the name of it. That one doesn't actually have a name on it. And I put that down and then put the water over it to kind of move it around. And you can kind of see that doily starting to pop out there. And for some reason, part of it didn't show up correctly, but I just go with things like that when I do backgrounds like this, because oftentimes they end up getting covered up anyways, and I don't want to fuss too much about it. So I like them to be pretty organic. So I didn't have a yellow gelato that I loved. I have like a goldish one, so that wasn't going to work. So I decided to use a watercolor, and I did the second stripe of yellow, and then I'm using this um, teal turquoise color, aqua, whatever you prefer to call it. I'm not sure the difference between any of them, but you know what color that is. So I did that one with the gelato, and you can see that bigger doily popping out. And then I'm going to do this gray gelato and move that around. So I do like how this background came out. I like that color combo a lot. Um, and so, yeah, I like how that came out. And I like how the doily is just very faint. There is a resist there, but it's not in your face white. you know. So now that's what I mean about the edges not getting gessoed really, really well. You can see, it's a little bit darker on the outsides where the pink is, and that's just right in gesso all the way, but that's fine with me. So now I'm just going to trim off a half an inch on each side, and I am going to mat it on another piece of white 12 by 12 to give it a border. And also that paper had curled a bit, so this will also just help it, kind of hold its shape a bit more. So I put that down, and now I'm going to take some of my Inca Gold, and this is in like a graphite color. That's not the actual name of it, but so yeah, I'm just putting that around the border, which I often do. I've done this technique quite a bit with my Inca Golds, and I just like the look of it. Um, and so I put that down, and I'm going to take a cloth and just run back over it, which just helps the Inca Gold shine up a bit more. So now I'm just going to kind of distress the edges a bit, bend them up and rough them up a bit, and I like that. It adds a lot of dimension right there. And now it is time for me to figure out where I want these pictures. So I am going to map my pictures actually on that black camera paper. And I like that it's a darker color. And so it really helps the pictures kind of pop off of the background a bit. Excuse me. So I'm just cutting those out with my scissors and figuring out where I want those, and they're gonna go right about in that area. So I thought about matting them on this pink one, and I think I just matte the one on there. So yeah, these are pictures of my 3-year-old meeting the Easter Bunny on Easter, and oh, she just loved him. So now I'm gonna fussy cut this word love out of this pink watercolor paper, and I believe that is from Amy Tan's newest collection. So I'm just going to take a minute to cut that out, and I'm sorry that's off screen, but I fussy cut like most people, where you keep your scissors steady with your cutting hand and move the paper around. So that is what I'm doing, and I'm trying to leave a bit of a border, but it doesn't have to be perfect. So for me and for this layout, because this layout is, very organic and um, loose, I guess is the word. I don't know. So then I decide to stick that pink paper behind actually, and then I am going to put that love in that bottom corner. And I just thought that that paper looked better. It was a group of 3 squares now layered together, and so I like that a lot better. So I really wanted to incorporate this paper. I really loved it, and I wanted to bring some of that yellow down here to the bottom. And so I just cut a strip out where the heart would show layered under those, because the hearts are in different areas in each row. And so, yeah, I just cut a strip where the yellow worked, and I put it down there. And then I cut another strip thinking I would put it up there, but it was just too wide. So I'm going to cut a strip of these black cameras and put that up there. Um, Okay, so I have this washi tape, and that is fairly new at Michael's. They're smaller rolls of washi. I think there's 5 yards on, which for me is plenty because, I don't end up using a whole roll of washi ever anyways. And they're, I think, $1.99 or somewhere around that price point. So, and that one is just black and white with different kinds of cameras on it, and then sayings, like little cute sayings that pertain to pictures. So I'm going to put that under there, and I'm liking how that looks. And I did put the washi down before I put anything else down, because it will serve as a marker, so I kind of know where that cluster will go, where my pictures and stuff will go. So now I just pulled out this bag, and it contains my print shop vellum pieces and some print shop acetate word pieces. And I kind of played around with maybe using that love, but the from the print shop, but I'm not going to. And then I pull out these pink speech bubbles, which I'm not sure what collection those are from, but they are from Studio Calico. And they're like a transparency material. And then that vellum piece is from the print shop, and it says, "I always knew it was you." So I'm just going to pick out a few of those speech bubbles and kind of arrange them how I like them on the layout. And I went with all like square or rectangles because I felt like the oval speech bubble was kind of throwing it off. Yeah. So now I am just looking for some stamps to put in the speech bubbles so that they say something. And so I'm just looking through some stamps that I keep right near me where I scrap. And, they're just generic stamps that would pertain to lots of layouts. So I picked a few out that I thought would work, and I decided to put everything down. Um, so I'm just gonna start picking out stamps. That one says hashtag love, and that is from a Heidi Swap set. That sketchy hand-drawn looking heart is also from a Heidi Swap set. And I think all these might be Heidi Swap that I use under here. Yes, they are. And then this one says remember, and that's in her handwriting. And yeah, I got all three of those at Michael's when her Hello Today line came out. So I'm just going to stamp those actually directly onto the layout, and I'm going to place the speech bubble over them versus, taking stays on and stamping directly on the speech bubble. Um, it's just a lot easier for me. I don't know about anybody else, but I have a hard time stamping with stays on slick surfaces. So it never comes out crisp and clear for me. It always comes out like my stamp will shift a bit because it's so slick. So this is just an easier way for me. And I grabbed both of those stamps at once and just stamp them down. And it didn't come out perfect, but like I said, yeah, that's all right with me. So I'm just putting those stamps away now, and I am going to place those speech bubbles over and make sure everything looks fine. And I used Versamark, or I mean, I'm sorry, what is it called? Not Versamark, Versafine in black for that stamping. So yeah, and I'm going to use my tiny attacher to put these down, and I'm going to have to open it up to stamp in the middle of the page because the tiny attacher won't reach that far. So I just use my So Easy pad underneath, and I open up my stapler, and I'm just going to stamp it down. And so I did two staples on each speech bubble. And now I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to fold those prongs down in the back. And I'm going to throw some washi tape over them. So, and I am going to put that vellum piece down, I think. I think. Yes. And I just used some glue dots. At first I was going to use my tape runner, but I couldn't get that little amount on there, so I just used a couple glue dots. And yeah. So then I went and grabbed some embellishments to use with this. And that is an Amy Tangerine sticker book. And I'm going to use a sticker out of here that says Pure Sweetness right there. And I'm going to take the sticky off of it and kind of figure out where I want that. And just looking through here again to see if there's anything else. A lot of those stickers are like a watercolor feel and the right colors, but you know, I just didn't end up going with more, I guess. And then so now I'm looking through my Oh Darling chipboard pieces, and I pulled that gray doily out that you see I kind of threw behind that first picture. And that's the only chipboard piece I'm going to end up using out of there, but you know me, I had to put chipboard in somewhere. So, so now I'm going to pull out my Vintage Collector die cuts, and that is the DCWV line. Um, And I'm gonna go through these, and I thought about using a couple of them, but I don't end up using any of them, I don't think. So I think I mean, it would have went with, but they're more chalkboardy um, of a feel, I guess, and I don't know, I wasn't feeling it. So I'm gonna throw a little bit of that same washi up there, and I want to use this Insta Love sticker. I knew I wanted to use that. I don't do Instagram actually, but I just thought it was a cute saying and appropriate. So, because it was definitely love at first sight for her. So yeah, so it kind of needs something to balance on because you can't see that Insta Love sticker very well, and it wouldn't have stuck very well over that gel medium anyways. And so I just cut another little piece of that heart paper and fishtailed it. And I'm going to layer that in there for that Insta Love to sit on, and that's going to help it pop out a little bit more. So yeah, I like how that looks. So I'm going to stick it down. And there was some adhesive showing, so I'm just taking that off with my adhesive remover. And I'm going to put that down and stick the sticker down. You have to be a little bit careful with these. They're pretty fragile, so I'm just trying to take my time and not tear the sticker. And then I get that in place, and I'm going to put the dot for the eye down. So I'm going to leave that cluster alone. I know I want something else up there, but I'm just not sure what yet. So now I'm going to stick this love down. And I do like how that looks, fussy cut out like that. It's really cute. I'm going to cut this doily in half and put that back in there. And those are self-adhesive. And then, oh, I'm sorry, I also did use that yellow chipboard arrow from the Oh Darling collection that I placed down there by the second picture. And now I'm just going to start working on my title. So I pulled out, those are all Heidi Swap letters to our sticker sheets that are glittered. And then those are both acrylic letters. And I'm going to use these white ones. And the title is going to be Mama, My Bunny is Real, because that is what she said. And so I'm just using the white ones to try to spell that out, but I decided to just go with the my in the white and not the bunny. So I'm going to put those away, and now I'm going to use these aqua glitter alphas, and they're smaller, and those are by Heidi Swap to spell out the word mama. And I went and grabbed some thickers, and those are like a thick, chunky silver glitter on chipboard, and I'm using all capitals to spell out bunny. And they do shed everywhere, so just beware if you ever come across those stickers. I mean, you can see it in the package though. In real life, there's glitter everywhere, so. So now I'm just using the pink glittered ones, and I'm going to spell out is. And then I pulled out these white foam glittered thickers, and I'm going to spell out real and put an exclamation point after it. So, and I like doing titles that incorporate like things that my kids may have said at that moment, or, um, or had been saying about a particular event, just because I feel like it adds to the story. I love hearing my kids say certain things, they crack me up, and so I like to preserve that memory as well. So I'm just putting these down, and they're kind of having a hard time sticking to the gelatos, but and the watercolor and the gesso, but they are sticking just fine. So just have to kind of press and hold for a second. And I'm sorry, what I don't know what I was doing right there. I was probably doing something on my phone. And so I'm going to use my tiny attacher again, and I'm going to put down this my, and I realized I wanted the staples to go horizontal instead of vertical, and so I just opened my tiny attacher again and ran out of staples, refilled it, and I'm going to put 3 staples on each of those acrylic letters. So that part is done, and I'm going to do the same process of folding over the prongs and putting some washi tape over them. There we go. And I'm just going to finish putting my title down, and I like the placement of it. It kind of fits in with those speech bubbles, and so I like how that turned out. So just putting those down, and I think I'm going to end up showing you guys what thickers I used quick. Oh, not before this epic fail. So these are some stickers that you can get at Target out of the dollar spot, and they're just some label stickers, and they match the layout. So I'm like, huh, I could probably layer one in somewhere. These are so, look, I get it stuck to my picture. They are so sticky. I couldn't believe it. I'm like, this is crazy. So there I am with my adhesive remover trying to like take all this adhesive off of my picture. I mean, it didn't damage my picture, but um, gosh, that them stickers are very sticky, so be careful if you use them. So I'm finally sticking that pure sweetness down, and I felt like that where it says Momma up there, like it needed a little something else. So I'm just looking for a punctuation. That's a comma, and I didn't like it. It didn't read well, and so I just put like a little, I don't know what those are called. Like it's not a hyphen. It's like one of the curly hyphens. So, yeah. So these are some Allison Craft Webster's Pages buttons from the Recorded line. Recorded or recorded? I don't remember. I think it's recorded. And they're chipboard buttons, and I'm going to pull out this turquoisey one, and I'm going to tie some of the white string that comes in there around it in a bow, and then I'm going to adhere that down. That just adds like a little embellishment, a circular piece, and the thread is a different texture, and it just adds a little something. I liked it right there. So and then I am going to pull something off of this like Heidi Swapp epoxy sticker sheet, and I'm just going to use one butterfly. I thought about using more, but I'm just going to use the one, and I put it there on that chipboard arrow. And sorry that got cut off weird. My camera had turned off. And so that is an acrylic bow or a resin bow. I'm not sure which one it is by Amy Tangerine, and that is from her cut and paste line. And I just put that over the O in love. And I'm going to cover my pictures and do some sprinkling. And this is the opaque white by Mr. Huey's. And I'm just sprinkling that, in a diagonal. Um, and then I'm going to use the Heidi Swapp tinsel and do the same. And I don't really like how it comes out the first time, so I try to blot most of it up, and then I will redo it. And I kind of wish I would have left the tinsel out. Um, I kind of liked it just the white, but what can you do after it's already down? You know, so it's fine. So I'm going to redo a couple more and just be like, okay, whatever. It is what it is. So here's another fail. So I am trying to dry those splatters up, and I accidentally hold the heat gun too close to one of those speech bubbles and see it curls up. So I fold it back down, and then I realize, I mean, I don't mind the look of it completely. It kind of distressed it a bit. And so I decide, okay, I'm just going to hit the other ones with the heat gun real quick, and so they all look the same. And that one that has remember, the one on the left, kind of curled up a bit more than I wanted it to. So I'm going to staple that down later on. That'll be one of the last things I do because it will just end up bothering me. But I don't think that it looked that bad. But yes, that is just something to beware is if you use those, um, don't hold your heat gun on them because they're plastic and they'll melt. So now I just took some basic gray glitter enamel shapes and they are squares and I turned them to look like diamonds and put those around a bit. And then I took some gray Recollections enamel dots and sprinkled those around and some white ones also that are by Recollections. So now here comes my roller date stamp. Yay! And I am going to end up using that pink one, and I think it's Amy Tan. And I'm going to use the one that says something sweet or so sweet. I think it says something sweet. And I'm going to use some charcoal shadow ink by Hero Arts. And I just have the little tiny square one, but it's big enough for that roller date stamp to fit on. So I'm going to do that and do that twice, and then I switch it to the one that just has the date and the lines on it, and I do that one twice, and I'm just going to take a pen and fill that in, the date, which was 4/20/2014, and now I'm just going to do my journaling right there on that line where the yellow and the blue or turquoise, aqua, whatever, meet up. And that's going to be it, I think. Oh, I am going to staple down that piece of that speech bubble. I tried to use a glue dot, but it just wasn't strong enough, and so I am just going to add a third staple onto that speech bubble. So there it is. That's my layout. I went through a couple bumps on it, but this was the layout I did on National Scrapbooking Day. So I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys soon. Thanks for watching.